Now let's go and read about JSON file. Okay, JSON is a very important data type. Earlier we talked about CSVs, comma separated. Now we talk about JSON file. It's a modern day file structure. Okay, JSON, okay, stands for JavaScript. JavaScript notation. JavaScript object notation. O4 object. Okay, so JavaScript object notation. Here, the content is written very similar to the way we write dictionary in Python. Okay, if I have to save some information, let's say cricket players information. Okay, so it is written. Okay, bracket first. Then you say name. Okay, Sachin Tendulkar. Okay, and of course, since we are doing in Python, okay, we have to add quotation. But generally, this is how we write a JSON script. Okay, key value. I can have, say, teams, multiple teams that he played. I can have a list. Very similar to okay, I'm using single, so let's use single. Very similar to the way we write string. You see that dictionary, we write curly bracket and then we put ID colon value, comma ID colon value. You can even have a dictionary inside a dictionary. The key is hits, and that has a value of dictionary. Okay, that has a value of dictionary. So here I'm going to say name. Okay. Okay. Age. Okay. So when you're defining, all these text will be in quotation, correct? This is how you write JSON file, but when you're doing in Python, it's written as a text here, isn't it? Comma here. Okay. Comma here. Okay. So see this value. Okay. So here value we cannot put, right? Value has to be a list. A list has a dictionary inside. What is happening here? Okay. So see, I want to define kids. I want to define this. Okay. Okay. Comma here I did not give, right? Yes. Now it's coming. Right. So this is how you can define a JSON object. Okay. So how many columns are there? Name is 1, teams is 1, kids is 1. Okay, so name is Sachin, teams Mumbai, string values, the list values, and kids has sub values. And I can create multiple such files here. Okay. 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 You can create multiple such values. Okay, let's see how to handle one value first. Okay, so this is your JSON file declaration. So whenever you see this bracket right here, it means it's a JSON file. Okay. Now there are, just like you have read write in text file, here you have load and you have load and dump. So you have two function, load and dump. Okay, load means what? Can you guess? Read. You're loading from file to Python. So you're loading the content which is in JSON file to your Python file. You're loading. Dump is writing to the JSON file. If you want to write a JSON file, you use dump. Okay, to write to JSON file. Okay, read from JSON file. Okay, so you have load dump. You have load S and load. You have dump and dump S. Okay, dump S means string. When you are reading from a, when you are reading as a string object, not as a JSON object, then you use loads. When you are reading a JSON object, you need to use load. Okay, S for string. Similarly, when you are writing a text file, you would say dump S, dumps. When you are writing a JSON object, you will simply say dump. Okay, so let's write a file here. Okay, so here I have a program. Okay, so let me create a text file. Okay, let me create a text file. Okay, and so for this you have to import JSON. For this you have to import JSON to work with JSON file. Okay, now I'm going to create a text. Okay, I have to create a text. Okay, so in text I will add, okay, all this. So instead, let me create a, okay, to make it, okay, let it be like this. Now, what did I read? What is the data type of txt? String, isn't it? Because I have created a string. So if I have to read it like a JSON, I have to read it using load S. Because it's not a JSON object, it's a string object. So I have to read it like a, okay, string. So I have to say here, okay, let's say I create a JSON object, okay, and this will be equal to your JSON dot loads, not loads, because it's a string. That's why it says S for string. So here I will pass the text. Okay, I have passed the text. Now to write to a file, what should I use? Dumps. It's a text, right? So I have to write using dumps. So I'm going to say JSON dot dumps. Okay, and I'm going to give the object name here. What is the object name? JSON object. Okay, I give the object name. Now, okay, now let's say I want to print on the screen, because I've said string, dumps is string, right? So let me print it on the screen. Oops, wait. Line note 24, JSON dot loads. Okay. Expecting value from none. Okay. Instead, okay, let me put it like this. As a single line text. Okay. Line number 17. What it says, JSON application of loads. Import JSON, right? Expecting value, I think the syntax is not correct. Okay. Let's see. Did we miss any syntax here? Okay. Let's try to remove these fixed ones. Okay, we'll try to create a simple. The syntax is not correct, right? It will give error. Okay. And on column 8, expecting value, line number 1, column number 8. Yes, you see this? Now we have read it, and it was taken the inner code, single code was giving error. Okay. So now we have read a text. So we said load as, it read, I have seen dump as. So it dumped as a string. Okay. Now if you want to put it in a proper format. Okay. So we use something called as indent. Okay. So when you are dumping, you say JSON object, comma, indent. Okay, indent means number of spaces that you want to give. So I give 5 here. So now you see, it has created like a JSON output. This is how JSON output looks like. Okay. Now let's say you have one more function here. You have name teams, right? Now let me add one more. We call it as branch or something. Okay, just something. Now I'm going to give some values to this. I'm going to give values like A, B, and C, right? So it's going to create one more key value pair, ABC, right? You have something called as sort keys. Sort keys, if I say true, okay, now you see. It has sorted the keys. So B comes first, then N, then T. Okay, so this is how you can read a string and you can dump a string. Okay, on your screen, you can read it on your screen. Now, if you have to save it to the file, how do I do that? I have to use dump. Okay, S is for string right, and with string right, so it is string on our screen. Now I want to dump it to a file. So how do I dump to a file? So I have to open a file, isn't it? So I'm going to say JSON file, okay, equal to open. Okay, so when you open, okay, when you open this, what do we need to give in open? File name. 1 second. Okay, so how to open JSON file? You have to give the file name, right? So let's say I give a file name called my JSON file. My JSON dot, say JSON is there. Now which mode you want to open? You're going to write it, correct? So we'll open it right now. Okay, so written in right mode. Now to do the JSON dump, JSON dot dump. So here see it needs object at the file pointer. Okay, first is the object. Okay, so for first object, okay, which is our content here, content is JSON object, isn't it? Okay, so here you say the content and the file pointer. This is your file pointer, correct? Now when I run it, okay, my JSON is created here, right? My JSON, and when you open with text file. See, it has put it in that form here, right? Now we also want it to be in a format. What format? Intent, right? So we go here and we put indent equal to 4 or 5 or whatever, right? We'll create that number of spaces. So now you go and see here. Now write a program, okay? Write a program to read a dictionary. You form a dictionary and save it in a file as a JSON. Program to read a dictionary, okay, using loop and save the content as JSON in a file. So how do you create a dictionary? You create a dictionary. We're going to text2 equal to curly bracket, say name, Rohit, okay, comma, say teams equal to, right? Am I am. Okay. So this is a dictionary, right? So if you have to read it, how do we read it? Load. Okay. Sorry. So this is dumps, right? This is an object. Okay. So our dictionary is ready, right? If you want to see the data type of this, okay. First, let me copy. Wait. Okay. Let's see. Right? This is working fine, right? We'll do it here. So first thing is to read the dictionary. So this is how we read dictionary, right?
Yes, yes.
Now, after reading dictionary, okay, okay, or let's say you want to load from file directly. Okay, so let's not read directly. Let's say you save the content. Okay, or let's write this to a file. Okay, so file equal to open. Okay, open file name. I'm going to say files, right? That's the folder name. Right? Okay, files, JSON file dot txt, let's say. Okay, and I'm going to put it in the. Okay, I'm going to put it in the right format. Okay, and okay, and let's say we dump it just like this. Okay, so okay, we go here and you see my JSON file.txt. Okay, so this is text. So after you form your normal dictionary, right? So now when I go to JSON file, am I not writing to it? JSON file, file is F and text is txt, right? Okay, now you go and you see the content here. So you are getting a JSON file like this, correct? This is a JSON file that we got like this. Now we need to read it into our object. Okay, so the file is created. Once file is created, okay, we need to open this in a read mode, isn't it? So let's say I open this in a read mode. File.close, we close the file, and now we are going to read the file. So file is read. Okay, now we need to load it, isn't it? So I'm going to say content equal to JSON dot load, and I'm going to pass the file object f. Pass the f. Okay. Now you print. I will say after loading /n comma content. So see, after loading, we are able to read the content from the JSON file. Okay. Okay. So whatever you have put it here, now you have read it. Now, if I have to read it like a JSON format, how do I do? Whatever we did in the first, right? See, we have loading. Now you load, you say dumps on the screen. If you want to display, you can say dumps. So your content is read. Okay, so we have seen all four, right? We have seen here load as loads. Then we have seen dump as dumps. Okay, now we have seen dump and now load. So you can read file from content from file using load and write to file using dump. And you can print on the screen like a string. So as using loads, you are reading from the screen, and to dump on the screen, you are using dumpers. Yes. So we have read a text file. We created. So you know how to create a dictionary, isn't it?
Yes.
You create a dictionary and then dump to the file and read from the file. Okay. Once we do pandas, then what we'll do is we'll do a mini project where you read JSON file and store as rows and table. And you take table CSV file and then save as JSON. We should be able to convert JSON to table, table to JSON. Okay.
Yes.
So once we do pandas, we will know how to read CSV file and save as rows and columns. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So there's one more topic that we have to do: exception and assertion, exception handling. How to handle errors. Once we do that, then we can move to our NumPy pandas.